welcome. Good morning. I think it's still morning where I am. Would love to know where you guys are watching from. Okay, today I want to talk about the truths about fibroid elimination that nobody talks about. Okay, because we have so many conversations about fibroids and all of all the issues that come along with it, all of the options and these things. But there's so much that people don't talk about, and there's so many misconceptions out there, and it's creating more and more confusion and setting you up for a life of bad health issues. That's why it's so important to understand when you are diagnosed with fibroids, when you are dealing with fibroids, it's so important to understand what you're dealing with, understand the root causes, understand what this actually means, right? Understand the best way to approach it. Okay, that's why I do these lives. Okay, so if you're watching me for the first time, hi and welcome. So happy that you're here. Okay, if you are watching me again, welcome. Thank you for being here as well. For those that are new, again, feel free to put where you're from, where you're watching from in the chat, because I know that typically when women come in here, they typically are from literally all over the world, because we in America think that it's only Black women suffering with fibroids, and that is not true. That is not true. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Okay, this is a global issue. This is a global issue. It's just that in a lot of countries, a lot of women are just dealing with this silently. Okay, so I literally get clients from all over the world. As of right now, I'm literally working with clients in 4 different countries: Australia, London, the UK. Well, that's considered the UK, of course, the US, and also what's the other? New Guinea. Okay, so fibroids is a global issue. So we're going to talk about today. This live is about the truths about fibroids that are really important, but people aren't talking about. I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos, and shout out to the woman that commented, and I wanted to definitely use that as a teaching moment, because it's going to really go into this live as well and what we're talking about today. It's going to be, so hold on for that. All right, so if you're watching, my name is Sasha. I'm a holistic womb specialist. Okay, for those that are watching, hi. If you're new, hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. And what I do is I help women who have fibroids and other reproductive health issues such as endometriosis, adenomyosis, infertility issues, get to the root cause of the problem. Okay, heal these issues from the roots so that their bodies can completely eliminate fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis. You're able to conceive with ease, right? If that's what you want to do. Your body is not blocked from doing that. So that's what I help women do. I help women physically, as far as holistic, of course, fully holistic, of course, and also energetically, because when we have these issues, there are also energetic issues as well. There's also energetic blockages as well, not just physical blockages. So we all about getting to the root of the issue, because when we don't get to a root of why fibroids develop, why endometriosis develop, why you're having issues with your cycle, when you don't get to the root cause, this becomes a reoccurring issue. Or what tends to happen is that it just the health issue, the underlying health issue, pops up in another way. So it'll start off as fibroids, and then it'll you go get surgery for that, and then you'll get endometriosis. You have to address the root cause, or the problem never goes away. Okay, all right. So hopefully that makes sense. If you're watching this and you're dealing with fibroids, feel free to put a 1 in the chat. If you're currently dealing with fibroids, trying to navigate fibroids, because you're gonna get a lot from this live. You're gonna get a lot from this live, whether you're dealing with fibroids or any other reproductive health issue. Okay, so if that's what you're dealing with, definitely put a 1 in the chat. If you're watching from YouTube, be sure that you click the thumbs up button, like the live. Okay, and also let me know, put a 1 in the chat if you guys are dealing with fibroids. Okay, I know some people are shy, so I'm gonna just keep it moving. Yes. No, but make sure that you guys are also tapping on the screen, like the video. Let's get more women on here, because this is a global issue. I keep telling you guys it's a global issue. So many women out there are suffering. So some comments were filtered. Okay, hold on. I don't know why TikTok does that. Okay, they filter out comments. Tap comments. Okay, I'm not sure whose comment has been filtered, but put a 1 in the chat if you are currently dealing with fibroids. Okay, so thank you for the follow. All right, so a woman wrote me. We're going to talk about the truths again about fibroid elimination, about fibroids that nobody talks about, but I want to talk about this comment. I want to talk about this comment that from YouTube, a woman sent me that I see a lot of women doing. And the reason why I want to talk about this comment, because it's a teaching moment, and it's something that is, I see a lot of women think that they're addressing a problem, they're addressing fibroids, but they're not getting to the root of the issue, and it's causing more problems later. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and also we're going to dive deep into why we have to understand fibroids. We have to understand what's going on in the body when we have fibroids. You cannot, like I said, just skim the surface and deal with the surface, like just deal with the fibroids and not deal with the underlying causes. When you guys do that, these things just come back. They come back, and you see the reality in your life over and over. Like, we see this reality with so many women. Women are still signing up for surgery, even though we know fibroids come back when you don't deal with the root causes, right? So we have to do better. We have to get, and I'm talking again, like I was saying every live, I'm talking to women that want to get to the root cause of the issue, that want to shrink and dissolve their fibroids, that want to also take care of the underlying issues, that desire to be healthy. Because if our body has grown these tumors, we're not healthy. We're not in a healthy state. Okay, so I'm talking to women that are interested in getting to the root of the issue, that are not just trying to find a quick fix and, you know, not really take their health seriously, right? So let me just say that, you know, as a disclaimer. So I got a comment on YouTube that says the woman said that she's, and if this is you, if you're watching, shout out to you. Thank you for your comment, because I'm definitely going to use this comment to teach a little bit as well. I'm 56 years old, and I had a UFE procedure for fibroids at age 43. You guys know, if you guys don't know what UFE is, it's a uterine fibroid embolization. It's a fibroid to shrink it's a procedure, to shrink fibroids. So she says her fibroids did shrink, but her period stopped, and she got this UFE at age 43. Okay, so UFE is stopping a lot of women's periods and having them go into menopause. Okay, thank you for the likes. Yes, ladies, like the video. Can we tap on the screen, like the video? It is free, I promise you. If you're watching from YouTube, click the thumbs up button. All you have to do to like the video is literally just tap. Let's get the likes up. Okay, thank you, Maureen, for liking the video. I think Maureen's the only one. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. Ladies, like the video. So her period stopped at 43 right after she got the UFE procedure, okay? And when she turned 53, she's now in postmenopause, right? Her doctor put her on HRT. She had, of course, when your body's being forced into menopause, when you've had the UFE procedure, a lot of women are going into menopause after this procedure. They're getting hot flashes. They're getting all of these issues, and that's what happened to her. She had low energy, hot flashes, brain fog. That went away. And let me just say that is not a part of menopause. That is hormonal imbalance, and we've associated that with menopause, but it's not. Okay, menopause, we're not supposed to have those symptoms, but that's a whole other conversation. So after she got on HRT, which is hormone therapy, hormone replacement therapy, all her symptoms went away, but the fibroids, listen to this, the fibroids returned with a vengeance. So she had the UFE procedure. The fibroids came back, of course, that's what they do, right? And the doctor wanted her to have a hysterectomy, because that's what doctors do. They want you to take out your uterus, right? A lot of you guys, put a 1 in the chat. If your doctor has asked you to have a hysterectomy due to fibroids, endometriosis, or any reproductive health issues, put a 1 in the chat, okay? She does not want to have any more surgeries. I'm not sure how many surgeries she's had for fibroids. She didn't say. Okay, Natasha, yeah. It's like they want to take your womb forever. Yeah, so we have some 1s in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if your doctor has asked you, has recommended a hysterectomy for fibroids or endo, or even ovarian cysts, any reproductive health issue. Put a 1 in the chat. She says she doesn't want any more surgeries, and if she's asking me that if she stops hormone therapy replacement, will the fibroid shrink? And I answered her question under her comment, but no, it's not going to shrink. It's not going to shrink because, listen, she never got to the root cause of her fibroids. And I hope she's listening. Hopefully this is helpful. She never addressed, she got the procedure, the UFE procedure, right? The fibroid shrunk temporarily. She never got to the root, and then her period stopped. It forced her body into menopause. But she never addressed, and she got all of these symptoms, right? All of these hot flashes, all of these things, they're associated with hormonal imbalance. And when you have fibroids, you have a hormonal imbalance. This is why women that have fibroids and they never address the root cause, they have a hard time during perimenopause, during menopause. This becomes a recurring issue in their life, and they live a life where they're chasing their symptoms. They live their life because they never address the root cause. So if she would have addressed the root cause, I'm sure, you know, you don't know what you don't know. But at age 43, she would have got to the root cause. She would have never, her periods would have never stopped. She would have never went into forced menopause or surgical menopause, whatever they call it, right? She would have never experienced all of these hot flashes, low energy, none of that stuff, brain fog, none of that. She would have never needed HRT, right? If she would have addressed the root cause of her fibroids. And she would have never regrew her fibroids. So I want you guys to understand what happens when you don't get to the root of your fibroids. Are we getting it? What happens? What that sets your life up to be? If you don't get to the root of why, it pops up in another form later on, or the same, or you get the fibroids again. And when they come back, they tend to come back with a vengeance. Same thing to women who have had surgeries, the myomectomies, right? Same thing. The ablations, same thing. You got to get to the root cause of the problem. So now, let's talk about the truths they're not telling you about fibroids. Fibroids is a full body issue. We're talking about several truths. Let me say that again for those that in the back. Fibroids is a full body issue. It is not just a uterine issue. A lot of you guys, the reason why you keep having reoccurring fibroids is because you're approaching it as a uterine issue. As just, oh, it's just the fibroids. You're not looking deeper. Okay? We gotta do that. And let me just say this. We have to, because I see this issue in women, and maybe it's a societal thing. We're not looking deep. We're not trying to get to the root of the issue when it comes to anything. We just want surface level and quick fixes. And you see where society is as a result. You guys just want quick. You have to stop. So we have to start thinking deeper. Why has this problem developed? Why has this problem developed? I did a myomectomy, and they are back with a vengeance. Yeah. I'm so sorry that you're dealing with it. They come back. Let me pin your comment. They come back with a vengeance where you don't get to the root cause of the problem. And you still will have women that will comment and say, well, I have my surgery scheduled. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Now, you can do what you want, of course, but it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. You're not getting to the root of the issue. They're just going to come back. It's just as a matter of time before they come back and the symptoms come back, right? So, and when they come back, it's because you did not get to the root cause, they're going to come back with a vengeance. And you've accumulated more toxins in the body. So you have to address the root cause. Fibroids are symptoms of a deeper imbalances in the body. They're deeper, they're hormonal imbalances. You're dealing with gut issues when you have fibroids. You're dealing with livers overloaded, right, with toxins. We're dealing with our elimination organs are overloaded with toxins, are overloaded with, junk. That waste that needs to, again, be expelled from the body and not held in, okay? So, hey, gifted hands, welcome. So, it's also a lymphatic system issue as well. The lymphatic system is congested. So, it's important that gifted hands, let's read the room and we're staying on topic here, okay? Let's stay on topic. How do we balance our hormones? We have to address what caused the hormones to be out of balance. We have to take our body out of a state of stress, because if your hormones are out of balance, your body's in a state of stress, okay? And we do that. Again, I work with women to do that, to balance their hormones, because again, you guys just want quick fixes. It's not you end up in the same problem. It's a total lifestyle change. Total, not just diet, total lifestyle change, right? So eliminating fibroids, it requires you addressing the root causes. You got to address the gut. You got to address the lymphatic system. You got to address the liver. You have to address these issues. You cannot just look at the fibroids and say, you just want to get rid of it and that's it. No, you're just going to grow them back, right? You have to address the imbalances in your body. That's the correct way. That's the correct way to eliminate fibroids, and naturally. And this is what the doctors are not saying. This is what people are not saying online enough. I say it almost every live, but people are not. This is a truth people are not saying. Women are so focused on the fibroids and not focused on what caused the fibroids to develop, and that's at their own detriment. You guys see the comment I just read. She had the procedure. Her body went into surgical menopause at 43, which is too young for that, and started having all these hormonal issues. And the fibroids, she got on HRT, which is another thing you don't want to get on, but that's a whole other conversation, right? We have to stop, again, taking fake hormones, because our body produces these hormones. We have to work on restoring our hormonal balance, right? And I work with many women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, okay? When you restore your hormonal balance, there is no hormone replacement therapy. You don't need that stuff. That is actually doing you more harm on the back end than good. But that's a whole other conversation, right? So because of the HRT, she regrew the fibroids, and because of not addressing the root cause, she just regrew the fibroids, and she said they're back with a vengeance. You have to get to the root cause of the issue. You can't skip that part, or it will just come back. You can't skip that part unless you want a lifetime of health issues. Unless you want a lifetime of always having symptoms and like that's not, listen. Hormonal issues is not fun, especially as you get older, because they just accumulate. The things that you don't take care of now will just accumulate a few years from now, and it'll be worse. Okay? So if you're having if you have fibroids, for example, and you have a bad period, a chaotic period, you're heavily bleeding, if you don't take care of it now, if you don't get to the root cause now, it's just going to get worse. Okay? Things will just get worse. Where am I located? My services are global, so it doesn't really matter, but if you want to know, I'm in the US, okay? My services are literally global. I don't work with people in person. I work with people virtually. I have clients right now in 4 different countries, okay? So the key insight is what you want to do is you can't just focus on the fibroids. You have to remember these fibroids, what caused these fibroids to develop? They develop for a reason. You got to work on the root causes. I need you guys to understand that. So what type of lifestyle was you living before you developed fibroids? Right? We have to make changes. We have to make changes. And I know a lot of people want to avoid that part. So that's why they're looking for a quick fix. And you end up actually in a worse, when you get quick fixes and all this stuff, right? You end up in a worse state. When you do these procedures and surgeries, you end up worse because now you've gone through this traumatic surgery and this invasive surgery or invasive procedure, and then now you have fibroids again. It doesn't make any sense. And now you have these issues that you did not deal with, these root causes that you did not deal with in the first place. Okay? So it's important that you get to the root. You get to the root cause. All right? Another truth, I want to talk about this too. You can't eliminate fibroids with quick fixes. I know you guys love the unicorn situations where people are like, oh, I drank this tea and I got rid of, my fibroids went from, let's say, 4 centimeters to 2 centimeters. You guys love that. You can't hear me? Can you guys hear me on TikTok? Let me know. Try to go out and come back in, Bird Wiggins. Can everybody else hear me? Okay, that might be, okay. If I'm going in and out on TikTok, let me know. So you guys a lot of people are obsessed with unicorn situations. And if you guys are enjoying this live, tap on the screen. You're obsessed with, thank you, Bird Wiggins, thank you. Tap on the screen, like the live. Can we get the likes up? Also on TikTok, on YouTube as well. A lot of people are obsessed with unicorn situations. Oh, my fibroid went from 3 centimeters to 2 centimeters because I drank this tea or because I did this thing. Thank you for the gift. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're obsessed with that, right? So you spend instead of you spending your time, how can I find out the root cause of fibroids? How do I start working towards my health? How do I start getting rid of these fibroids? How do I get to the root of the issue? Instead of doing that and finding out more information about why fibroids develop, instead of doing that, you're all over the internet trying to find a quick fix. So if this person is selling this supplement or this one thing to get rid of fibroids, you're hopping on it. Some of you guys have tried every supplement that they claim gets rid of fibroids, every tea, right? Every acupuncture, steam. You've tried everything. You've wasted your time trying everything because you want one thing to get rid of them so bad instead of doing the work to get to the root cause. Because a lot of you guys want to avoid the real work. The real work is changing your diet and life, not just changing your diet, changing your entire lifestyle. It's an entire, thank you for the gift, hey, it's Cass. It's an entire lifestyle change. But you want to avoid that and try everything. You on TikTok, you in the Facebook groups, you're on YouTube. Oh, this supplement, that, instead of you getting to the root cause of the issue. Instead of you getting to so what if you spend, I always say this, what if you spent your time getting to the root of the issue? That's why my clients get transformative results. That's why my clients can go from a huge fibroid belly to like literally just have it dissolve flat. No surgeries, no pills, getting to the root of the issue. And people are always like, well, how do your clients? Because they got to the root. They weren't looking for a quick fix. Some of you guys have tried every quick fix on the market and you still got the fibroids. When are you gonna stop? And for a lot of people, they're making their situation worse, right? You think that a T is gonna get rid of a 10 centimeter fibroid. Like, stop it. Stop it. You're wasting your time. And as you're wasting time, a lot of you guys your fibroids are growing bigger. I'm not saying don't try. You can try these things, but don't understand that you gotta still do the work to get to the root cause. I went and got a full body blood and found out I was deficient in a lot of things. If you have fibroids, you're deficient. You're deficient in your minerals. You're deficient in lots of minerals, right? A lot. Your body cannot develop fibroids without deficiency. If you have any health issue, you're deficient in a lot of minerals, important minerals. You know why? When you have fibroids, right? Again, the gut is overloaded. The liver is overloaded. Like your body, the elimination organs are keeping toxins in. So the body cannot really absorb appropriately things like iron and important, magnesium, like important minerals that your body needs. There's an absorption issue. People only think about, oh, let me go and get all these supplements and things like that. Can your body actually absorb this stuff? No. Not if you haven't, like I said, take care of the underlying problem, okay? Somebody asked me, it's again, a supplement. If you want to take those things, do them, but they're not getting to the root cause of the issue, okay? I know I always get questions about these things. Do it if you want to, but if it's not getting to the root, you're wasting your time, right? Get to the root cause. Spend your time doing that and stop avoiding. Okay? And like I always say, that's why my lives are not that popular, and I'm totally fine with that. If I was saying that, oh, it's this one supplement to get rid of fibroids, then thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that, Wiggins. Then I would be more popular. But I'm telling you guys the truth. That's why I just had a testimonial today again on Facebook. Somebody tagged me in something. Shout out to Marquita. This woman has had UFE procedure. The fibroids grew back. She's had a myomectomy. The fibroids grew back, and she has fibroids right now. So she took one of my courses, both of my courses, I think a month ago. Advanced Fibroid Healing Vaults is not available anymore. It's retired because, again, that was like something I put out for 10 days. And I said, listen, get it. The ones that missed out, okay? For the ones that are new, I may have to do something for y'all, but we'll see. But she started using the vaults, and these are high-level teachings on how to get rid of fibroids. She started using it. She said, immediate relief. Immediately she felt a difference, right? Because she followed but then she said she backslided a little bit, right? And that's why some people need the program. They need to actually work with me, but she backslided. And she immediately felt a difference when she backslid, right? Because when you are changing so many habits that you've done, for some of you guys have had some habits since you were a child. I had to change all of my habits, right? Literally all of the habits, like neglect. A lot of you guys have been neglecting yourself for years, neglecting your bodies for years, neglecting your mental health for years, neglecting yourself, your femininity for years, right? We're gonna talk about that too, feminine energy, right? Because that is associated with womb issues. So you have to restructure your life and actually, start, like I said, making changes. Some people, they need help along the way. That's why I have my programs where I'm working with women directly, right? So that's you. And we do have, I wanted to say this too. Our 6-week womb healing experience is reopened for $9.97. Remember I said that special price was never coming back? I said, you know what? And a lot of people hopped on it. And this is, you're in my program for 6 weeks, right? The link is in my bio in case you want to read more. And if you want to read more about it, YouTube, the link is in my description box. But that's a program where you work with me to transform the health of your womb for 6 weeks. And it's $9.97 until Friday, by the way. It's like a little Mother's Day thing I'll do. Till Friday. That's it. I said that price typically is $1,500, but I said because I want more women to jump on it, right? And we do have Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay, all that other stuff, right? But anyway, in case you're interested in joining. But anyway, you got to get to the root. There has to be structure and a plan. When you're getting rid of a health issue, when you're getting rid of tumors in your body, and you're trying to get to the root cause, you need structure, you need a plan that actually addresses the problem. That not just addresses the problem, but actually addresses the root, the underlying causes of what created the problem. You can't just have, a tea or a supplement and think that that's going to do the work for you. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all have all this information on TikTok, on YouTube, with all this quick fix things, and y'all still got the fibroids. So what's going on then? What's going on, right? You got to get to the root cause of the problem. And that's what I do in my 6-week program. We transform the womb health from the inside out, right? So that your body can shrink and dissolve fibroids. In 6 weeks, we've had women eliminate the smaller fibroids, completely dissolve smaller fibroids, and the ones with larger fibroids, they've been able to shrink that in 6 weeks. When you come in serious and you're ready to work, in 6 weeks, this can definitely happen, right? So, eliminating fibroids naturally, getting to the root cause of the issue, is a long-term commitment to your health. And the beauty of it is that the things that you like, it's a long-term, it's not just you about getting rid of fibroids. It's you actually improving the health of your body. Because I told you guys, fibroids is a full body issue. So it's you improving the health of your entire body, okay? So it's deeper than even just getting rid of fibroids. Because if you have fibroids, it's a full body issue. Our body's in a compromised state. We're not in good health. And this is why women that have fibroids tend to have other health issues, such as fibroids and high blood pressure, fibroids and anemia, fibroids and endometriosis, or fibroids and cysts. When you have fibroids, right, you're going to be more susceptible to other reproductive health issues, other thyroid issues, autoimmune disorders, because the same things that cause fibroids cause those things. Did you know that? The same root causes, the same hormonal imbalances, okay? So it's important that you get, same thing with you guys, breast cancer. If things get really bad, breast cancer, there's the estrogen dominant cancer. Fibroids is an estrogen dominant condition. That's why I said addressing the root causes saves you from so much heartache, time, and it gives you your life back. It gives you your life back, because fibroids really do, especially as they grow and start displaying symptoms, they hijack your life. You're bleeding, hey Marsh, thank you Marsh. You're bleeding, like you're heavily, you cramping, you clots. You're dealing with, some of you guys have to wear adult diapers at night. It's that bad. You're having to wear all of these, and that was me too. All of these huge pads, just because you're having a period, that's not normal. That's toxicity in the body, that's not normal. You're dealing with all of these hormonal issues, and you think, I'm just in perimenopause. No. That exists because your hormones are out of balance, and they've been out of balance. It's just, it gets worse as you get older because your body has accumulated so much toxicity, and you have not addressed the root cause. You have not addressed. There's somebody tagged me in a video the other day where a 17-year-old says she's in menopause. 17. Her doctor told her she's in menopause. I'm going to do a video on that. I'm going to have to do a video on that. Thank you for the gifts. 17. It's getting younger and younger. It's getting, because again, we're so toxic and we're passing our toxicity down to our children. That was real. Yes, it was real. I'm going to do a video on that. She was detailing the whole process. So let me just say this. So you have to this is what happens when you don't get to the root. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate it. And as you guys are coming in, like the video, tap on the screen. I appreciate the gifts. Your womb also, too, this is what they're not telling you about fibroids. Your womb is a reflection of your feminine energy. You guys think your womb is just a useless organ. And in the US and in other developed countries, in the UK as well, they program you to think that your uterus is useless unless you're pregnant. And that's not true. That's why a lot of you guys, it's so easy to coerce Americans to get hysterectomies. It's so easy to coerce American women to castrate themselves, to volunteer to be castrated. Because you're taught that your womb is useless unless you're pregnant. No. It's not just a physical organ, it's also a spiritual organ. And when there's fibroids, there's a disconnection from your feminine energy. This is why women that have fibroids, they always they're dealing with overwhelm, lots of stress in their lives. There's unhappiness that they're dealing with. There's unfulfillment in their life. They're not following their purpose. Their life is purposeless. right? They're just existing. They're not living, right? They're holding on to a lot of emotional trauma. They're suppressing a lot of stuff that they've dealt with, a lot of trauma that instead of actually processing through it and releasing it, they're suppressing it, which you guys know the body keeps score, so it's still there. They're in fear of their own feminine power. They're in fear of becoming their best selves. They're in fear of, really stepping into their power, right? They're in fear of that, so they do things to avoid that, right? They try to avoid that. They're people pleasers. They lack boundaries. If I'm describing you, that was the old me. That's a woman that has fibroids. That's on the plane that you're operating from, right? Or reproductive health issues. If there's an issue with the womb, that will reflect into your life. That's a reflection of how your life is. Tell me the health of your womb, and I will tell you how your life is going, right? So so this is why, as you begin to heal your womb, it's deeper than just getting rid of the fibroids. If you're getting to the root cause of the problem, you're also connecting more with your feminine energy, your true self. You're also more in touch with your intuition. You're more connected with your body. You're more connected with who you are as a person. You show up in the world as you and not afraid to do so. And not afraid to do so, right? Despite all the societal programming, you're not afraid to do so because you're so rooted in who you are as a woman. You show up powerfully as a woman, right? You're more so in your creativity. You're more so, like I said, you're more connected with your life. You're more so living in a flow and not in struggle. A lot of you guys, you're in survival mode. You live your life in survival mode. That's, again, energetic blockages. And those fibroids represent energetic blockages. So you're going to see roadblocks in your life. They represent literally blocks. So it's deeper than just, like I said, fibroids. Oh, I just want to get rid of the fibroids. You better get to the root cause of the problem, or this will become a recurring issue in your life. So healing your womb is not just about shrinking fibroids. And listen, I don't really talk much about shrinking fibroids. I talk about dissolving, eliminating. Because we're not just trying to shrink, we're trying to get rid of them. That should be the standard. That's number one. Right? Shrinking is all fine and dandy, but we need to get rid of them. Some of you guys will shrink it and they grow right back. And you'll never get rid of them. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So let's raise the standards. Okay? It's also when you eliminating